So we're going to swear in the Commission on Aging Retirement Education called C.A.R.E. first. C.A.R.E., not Care First. I was going to say we're going to do them. We're going to do you all first, not to be confused with C.A.R.E. So one of the things I want to remind you all is that a large percentage of our population are 55 years of age and older. And how we take care of our seniors is how we ultimately would take care of ourselves. And I tell folks that all of us are seniors in training. I don't care how old you are. You know, from the moment we're born, we're all seniors in training. And so we must really protect and take care of our senior citizens. And there are a number of services and so forth that you all provide and help us to provide. But there's, you know, oftentimes when people think you get to a certain age that you don't want to work, there are a lot of programs to help seniors work. And so we want to make sure that those take place as well. But I want to thank you all for committing to do this service, because this is an important commission for the city of Baltimore. Mr. President, would you like to share a few words?
I just want to echo what the mayor said. We want to thank you for volunteering your time and your service to serve on this commission. It's very important. One of my main things that I do on the council is center around my youth and seniors. And I have one of the biggest senior events in the city. And I'm hoping that the mayor going to join me next year.
I'm going to do my best. Because
every time we schedule it, it's almost the same Thursday, and she's out of town.
Yeah, but what you should know, Mr. President, is that when I was a state senator, whenever the seniors groups came to Annapolis, I was always there. Always participated, always listened, and always advocated. And so I'm one of your biggest advocates, and the president is certainly one of your greatest advocates. And I want to also thank your Vice President for serving on this commission as well. She has a lot of great interests in the things that we do in the city, and this is among one of them. Did you want to share a few words?
I just want to say that we try not to say the word seniors anymore. We say mature adults.
Okay.
We brought that from the our wonderful senior Zeta Center. So we're all mature adults. Older adults, okay. Older adults.
I like seniors.
You like seniors?
I like seniors.
But yes, it's a very important committee, and I thank the council president for wanting me to continue to serve.
Okay, so now we're ready to take our oath, and you all will raise your right hand, and you will repeat after me, and you'll say your names after I. Okay? I
Johnson,
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
be faithful and bear true allegiance
Always say to the city of Baltimore
to the city of Baltimore,
and the state of Maryland,
the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
And that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of member of the Commission for Aging
of the Commission for Aging
and Retirement Education,
and Retirement Education,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
of Maryland
of Maryland
and the laws
and the laws
of Baltimore City.
of Baltimore City.
Congratulations. Okay, so Mr. Ronald McFadden, Mr. President, before I begin, would you like to share some words?
Sure, Madam Mayor. You know, our school system is a make or break for us in the city of Baltimore. A lot of families, once their kids get to become school age, try to move out. So all I'm asking is that as a school board member, try to make sure that all of our schools are good schools, not just certain schools, but all of our schools are good schools, where parents won't have to call the mayor, me, or the council person to try to get their kids in some of the better schools. All of our schools should be great schools, not just a few. So I'm counting on you guys to make sure that the money is spent
Wisely.
and that the maintenance of the schools are taken care of. And if they can't do the maintenance, give it to us and bring the money along with it.
Right.
So that we can do the maintenance of the school. Because we get the blame for the schools, even though we have no control over the schools. That's all I'm going to say, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Johnetta, you going to join us over here? And this is Johnetta Richardson. I think you're familiar with Johnetta.
Yes.
And Johnetta, we just got through talking about the importance of your positions. As school board members, we expect you to be fiduciarily responsible for the schools. We expect you to understand that it's important for us to create programs for our young people. And more importantly, we want to know where every child is every single day. And whatever that takes, you all have a responsibility to make sure that happens. We look forward to your support for our May 9th event where we track our young people through whether they go to Baltimore City Community College for free, or whether they go to college or another university, or they are employed, because that's what we're doing our May 9th event for, or that they're going into the armed services. We need to put our hands on every single child. And while we don't control the school system, for those of you who don't know, that in 1997 the school system was separated from the city. Unlike every other jurisdiction where the money comes directly to the city and then goes, and then we send it to the school system, and that's where the confusion becomes about how much money we're giving to the school system. We go to Annapolis and fight on behalf of all of our citizens and all of our children, and about 1.4 billion comes to our school system, and another 400 million comes from us to the school system. So our school system has a $1.8 billion budget,
Almost bigger than that.
and that's in comparison to us, the city, that has a $2.8 billion budget. And we've got the police department, the fire department, trash pickup, transportation, roads, everything. And so we don't get the money for our children every day. It goes directly to you all, and that's why I'm saying this fiscal responsibility is very important. And as I mentioned earlier, we went into our rainy day fund last year, $130 million that we've committed over the next 3 years to support our school system. And when the school system schools went offline, the 80 schools went offline, the city stepped in. And people said, you know, you had a responsibility to do that. We have a responsibility because they are children, but we don't have the fiscal responsibility. And I think that what the president was saying is if you all can't do it, the city can. So the money that goes to the school systems for capital budgeting, then perhaps we should be managing that. But that's something that you all need to take a very close look at, Frank, in terms of how we are addressing this particular issue. Because we had to come in and make sure those schools got back online in cooperation with the school system. And we changed the policy around when the schools close. When our schools close, our children still need to eat. And so we opened up the rec centers because we need to make sure our children eat, because people don't understand. Oftentimes, our children are in school and they depend on those meals. And some folks don't realize that some of our children are homeless. So we've got to make sure, and the policy before I became mayor and before Sandalisas became CEO of the school system was that we would wait 3 days before a child got a meal. That's totally unacceptable. So we've changed that policy. So again, you all have a great responsibility, and we look forward to you all assuming this responsibility. And we know that we've made great choices, and so we expect you all to do your jobs. Okay, I know it's volunteer. But do your job, okay? So, it is, however, one of the most prestigious positions in the city. It really is. So would you all raise your right hands and repeat after me? And you'll say your names. I,
Ronald McFadden,
Johnetta Richardson,
do swear
do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the
the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the city of Baltimore
to the city of Baltimore
and the state of Maryland,
and the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best
to the best
of my skill and judgment,
of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office
execute the office
of Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners
of Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
of Maryland
of Maryland
and the laws
and the laws
of Baltimore City.
of Baltimore City.
Congratulations.